All right. Let's close some tabs. Okay. Here we are. Day 1. What are we going to do today? I'm almost tempted to try and do character design today, but I think it's too late to start that. So we should probably look at making a puzzle dependency graph. Write down some character concepts, maybe. Well, let's look at day 1 for game 3. What do we do on day 0 and day 1 for game 3? Okay, so I guess day 0. Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh! Yay! Woohoo! Oh, you just added a marker as well? Oh, nice. I mean, I added one already, but cool. Thank you. Also, I don't know if I said hi, Game Dev Jeff, and it's great to see you, but it is great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, talk about clowns reminded me of old detective show that featured a special effects artist solving crimes with his VFX expertise. It was made in the 90s. It's called FX. It's called FX Dithron, and it's really interesting. I wish that series didn't get cancelled. I don't know how that's related to clowns, but it was a late 90s or early 2000s, maybe even. And maybe that was a different one. I don't know. Oh, Xcation says it was FX as well. Oh, there was a movie called FX? I didn't know about the movie. I only ever knew about the TV show. Interesting. Anyway, goals for this game. So we got goals written down already. Day 1, make story a little bit more concrete. I guess I already had something in mind. Design dependency graphs still need to finish. Yeah, we didn't finish it. Define objectives for improvement. Review assets and ideas from game 1. I think we don't... Maybe we should review some stuff. I'm not sure. Waffle on about other game ideas. We don't need to do that today. All right, so this was pretty loose. It's good. Like loosey-goosey day 1, just fiddle around and come up with some ideas. Let the creative energy start to flow. I think that's fine. So yeah, I guess we can like think about the story, think about the puzzle dependency graph, and maybe I've already defined objectives for improvement. So we're already a step ahead on day 1 in that respect. All right, so get back to here. So we already have fleshed out a fair bit of a story idea, a concept here. We've got Day of the Redacted. The concept is that you play as a death-obsessed character named Sierra. Sierra is a code name. They chose it themselves for some reason. Who knows why? Sierra is really into conspiracy theories and wants to gain access to a secret base close to home. So I'm thinking this is like, let's just steal like the idea of Stranger Things, like have a local energy/science outpost. Maybe thinking like ship to shore. Maybe. Where something is going on. This will tie into the big game somehow. And this being the secret base. Whoops, base. Where's B? Base. There you go. Oh, that's where the T came from. I was wondering where the T came from. Thank you for shouting out, Ash. You're going to get some sleep, Ash? No worries. Don't blame you for getting some sleep. You need to get that sleep. Look after yourself. Thank you again for playing the game on your stream. It was so good to see it. I really appreciate it. Thank you for shouting out, Ash, as well, Pi. You also only knew about the TV show Mini Roach? Interesting. Maybe the movie was like only a local release wherever Xcation's from. Doing alright. Went too hard on a bushwalk and got a shin splint. Oh no, nothing like overdoing exercise. Yeah. I know the feeling. I used to do running. I'd get shin splints from that, and it was so annoying. It was so annoying. But yeah. You'll be right. You'll recover. Walked 600,000. Is that 600,000? 600,000 steps in May, trying to become new and improved version of myself. That's awesome, Mini Roach. I've started, I think, the last 2 weeks, I've started trying to build up my walking endurance again. Because I want to go for a hike this winter. I want to go somewhere cool. Maybe the mountains in like West Victoria, I think. Been a while since I'd done a decent hike. I actually did a hike at the start of this year, I think it was. Or it was late last year or at the start of this year I went for a hike. We did like 40 Ks in 2 days, up and down mountains. It was hardcore. It was too much. It was too much. We did like, I think it was like 41 point something kilometers in 2 days. And I wasn't really fit enough to do that, so like my legs were really wrecked by the end of it. So hopefully by that time next year, or like, you know, this coming summer, hopefully by then I'll be a lot fitter. If all you do is walk, you can go pretty far. Yeah, when you're carrying a massive, I don't remember how many kilos I was carrying, but I hiked in, like, I think it was 4 liters of beer or something like that as well, to drink on the first night. So that was pretty heavy. Anyways, but first Sierra has to trick the babysitter. So that, I don't know if babysitter is the right move here. I think maybe some other, there may be some other, like, they have to trick someone, but I don't know if babysitter is the right idea. So let's just put a question mark next to babysitter. Prob someone else. Probes? No, probably. Why'd I have to type properly? I don't want to type properly. Anyway. And they have to trick their siblings. So once they're to get out of house. Trick siblings to get out of their home. Oh, okay. So I think first of all, just getting out of the house. And then this one would be like, their yard. So this is why I'm trying to introduce here the idea of like, oh, you have to talk to someone and convince them to do something for you, or trick them into thinking that you've done something, you know, like tricking them, wearing a disguise, something like that, you know, all the kind of fun things that you can get from like, you know, like I think ABC Mini User labeled it as boat buying, which is, that harkens back to Call of Cthulhu Shadow of the Comet. In that game, you had to sort of like talk to a person and find the right dialogue tree to convince them that you could rent their boat. So that kind of thing though, like I want dialogue based puzzles, but I also want them to tie back into the environment as much as possible, so it's never just about convincing them. Even though that is part of it, it's like you also need to have a certain item with you, or have a disguise or something like that to make that work. Like, so in this case, like, you could be like a parent saying, I'm not letting you go outside unless you're wearing a scarf, and you have to find a way to get the scarf, and you end up like faking a scarf, or like wearing something else instead of a scarf, but then you can convince them like that will keep you warm, and then you can go outside, something like that. I'm not saying it's going to be a scarf and warmth, but you know, those kind of ideas. Being young, 1 keg in each hand. Hiking is just drinking with extra steps then. Dialogue puzzles are fun. Can have so many fun dead end things. Yeah. As long as it's not annoying. Like, I think there's a trick to it of like not having too many options in the dialogue and making them make sense. And the ones that don't end well for you in terms of success, they have to be at least they have to be funny or entertaining in some way. I think. You don't really want to bore your player with like a dialogue puzzle, that's going to be interesting, but that's like what I want to focus on for this game. Last game I was like, I want to focus on like mechanics, gameplay, focused around like doing stuff, finding stuff, interacting with stuff, crafting stuff, solving mazes, those kind of things. This game I might still do stuff like that, but I want to focus on the character interactions because that's going to be important for the big game. Several lines of dialogue you can't skip. Oh yeah, Discworld style. Discworld sold so many copies because they aced that. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We'll never actually die in the games, but we'll fake their death at any opportunity. Yeah, because they're death obsessed. Right, trick their siblings, get out of the backyard. Maybe some more stuff like this. You know, interact with dog to let them past, etc. I don't have as solid a I don't have as solid of a concept of like how this game, like what puzzles I want to do in this game. So we're gonna have to think about that. But I do want to think about doing like, you know, like the typical like combine this with that, do this, like go here, get that, use this item to acquire that item, those kind of things. So like, you know, the screwdriver on the microwave or whatever, those kind of things. You're gonna take a nap? No worries, Pi. Pretty knackered after a week of night shifts. I bet, man. The night shifts are a killer. Hope you get some good sleep. Rest well, man. Rest well. Basically, the gameplay will have typical. Oh, what I just said. Typical object, item inventory, puzzles, etc. But will strongly feature characters interacting and dialogue, etc. to help me explore these features and learn about making expressive characters in AGS, etc. So there you go. That's the thing. Expanding the universe, yeah. Why is this here? What is this? I mean, obviously, Sierra is obsessed with conspiracy. Oh, this is just like a summary. This is helpful, actually. Problems to solve. Trick babysitter, or like, let's say guardian. How do you spell guardian? Guardian to get out of the house. Trick siblings to get out of the yard. Plus more adventure game style stuff. This is a useless line, but I think it needs to be there. We need to do that. Calm dog to get past them to a section of yard to get item to convince sibling to not dob. Is dob like a common word around the world? Is dobbing a common word? I don't know. It's not a common word. Dobbing is in the UK, right? In the USA, is the right word tattle? What does tattle mean? Snitch? There you go. I'll put them all in there. Goals for this game. Objectives for improvements in the process. Continue to improve background asset pipeline and polish. Yeah, I just want to get better at creating the artwork as well as just like improving the process for creating the artwork. So 2 factors of improvement there. 2 vectors of improvement there. Focus on character interactions, more jokes, more dialogue puzzles. Maybe having more varied soundtrack could be interesting. I don't think this is super important, but it is a nice idea. There might be as few as 4 scenes in this game, I think. Maybe there'll be more, but we'll see. Because I'm picturing like, oh, you're in your house. So that's like one room. Maybe you can go back to your bedroom. So that's maybe 2 rooms inside the house. One you're in the backyard. There's probably 1 backyard scene that like scrolls. Maybe 2 backyard scenes if we have to. And then like a 3rd scene for out of the yard. And that's like the last little piece that you have to solve to like escape the bounds of your home neighborhood and meet the other 2 on the hill. Yeah, more bad joke. Yeah, more jokes, bad and good. I like it. Literally the first time you've heard of dobbing. Yeah, we used to say it all the time when I was a kid. Like, I'm dobbing on you, please don't dob on me. You know, those things. It's like, don't tattle. I guess tattle is like the equivalent of USA, I think. I would never dob on you, Mike. Thank you. It's good to know. It's good to know you have my back. The red paint bucket should make another cameo. Yeah, I think the red paint bucket and the cat, they both need to be in this game. And also, we probably need an alarm to go off at the start of the game, too. Probably. So this is an important one here. I'm going to bold this. This is something I really want to make sure we tackle in this game. All the other games, every time the character like talks, their mouth just stays shut. They never move their mouth. And I want to learn how that works in AGS and implement it. I assume it's not hard to do, but I have no idea. Like, never tried it. Character speaking animations like gestures, so that's another thing that would be like, if you are talking to a character, like I want them to, like the character that you're talking to at least, like do the Stan arm movements, Stan the boat salesman, maybe have that kind of thing going on, or at least gestures. Like you gotta, I think just having it be a bit more dynamic, because right now if I was to do it, it would just be like a static character standing here, a static character standing, well, you can't see, 2 static characters on the screen, and they wouldn't really move. They just face each other, and then they'd like talk, and that would be it. And I kind of want them to have like a bit more movement to it, so that the world feels a little bit more alive. Can one character have a Stan style shirt that green screen-esque shirt with static texture? It's probably technically possible. I don't know if I want to do it. It almost feels like too much of a trademark to use. Like, I've already done a lot with, like, this character walks the same way as a character from Day of the Tentacle. I don't know if I want to do, like, this character's literally wearing the clothes of Stan. I don't know. Maybe I could do something like that. There will 100% guaranteed be voice acting for the big game no matter what. Yes, I'm 100% going to do that. For these mini games, I don't mind if they don't have it. We can always come back. Like, if I do line up voice acting for those games, by virtue of the fact that all these games will have characters from that big game, I should be able to, like, as a Kickstarter stretch goal or something, I could be like, oh, go back and add voice acting to the first 3 games. Because for the first 2 games, it's like only one character ever speaks. For this game, there's going to be other characters to talk to, but like I can work it out, you know, we can, yeah. So it'd be cool to go back and do that. I also would like to go back to Day of the Sandwich and extend it, add a couple more puzzles, redo the sprite work. Like, basically, I'll redo the sprites for all 3 characters for the final game. I wouldn't mind coming back and just using those to remaster the games. The backgrounds in Day of the Sandwich, just finish them. Like, I never really felt like I finished those. Day of the Hamster, I didn't really feel like I finished them, but I feel like they were to the point where they were polished enough to get away with it. Day of the Hamster, I could see myself going back in and doing a bit more cleanup, though, if I wanted to, but I think Sandwich definitely needs background cleanup. Hamster probably is fine. Maybe you could have a voodoo kind of narrator woman. All the cool games have one of those. Oh yeah, it's that one that talks really slowly, but it's like, it's a really cool voice, but she talks really slowly. just to make sure that you have to wait as long as possible to hear what she has to say. Okay, so that's okay, we've kind of gone through. Let's see. I think what I need to say here is like review the story outline and add some details, refinements, and we can just check that because we've just done it. Look at making puzzle pentagraph. This is like the start of it. So let's just jump in. I know I said I would use Lunacy and try that out. It is an open source tool that's somewhat like Figma, but I haven't used it yet, and I don't want to spend time learning it right now. It does look like it would be fantastic, actually. It looks pretty amazing. But we're just gonna stick with Figma, and I think I'm just gonna create a new. Just scroll up here and do this, you know. Right click copy, right click paste. Holy crap, that's the whole thing. I didn't want the whole thing. Delete. How do you, is it one of these bad boys? A section. Let's create a section right here. And we're gonna change it to green, baby. And it's gonna be named Game 4 Puzzle Dependency Graph. There we go. Okay. Now, everything has a start. Get trapped in vault. Start in the kitchen. We need a starting point. So I'm just going to slap something down. I don't really care what it is. We're going to change it. It's not going to say get trapped in vault. It's going to say start in bedroom. I'm just going to say it's bedroom for now. We might change it, but for now it's bedroom. We're going to start in the bedroom. Our goal is going to be we're not so much. I don't know if are we. What's the goal? Because we're going to have several. We have this phase of like expansion of like the area that we can move around in. So we're going to start in our bedroom, and you have to get out. Then you're going to like. So that could be a puzzle, just getting out of the bedroom. And then the next part is. Okay, so I already have an idea. Your sibling has locked you in the bedroom. Nefariously, your sibling has locked you in the bedroom. When you escape from your bedroom, you immediately get caught by your parents and brought back into the house, and they say you can't leave until you've done X, Y, Z. And so you have to do X, Y, and Z. But obviously you're not going to actually do X, Y, and Z. You're going to trick your parents. So Hitchhiker's Guide game? Yeah, exactly. Wake up from a nap. Knowing our main character is a napper would make it very relatable. That's a good idea. I like it. Yeah. You know what? I'll say wake up from nap. Wake up in bedroom. That's fine. Okay, from nap. I'll put the full words in. Because that means you didn't wake up in the morning. It's actually from a nap that you've woken up in the morning. And then like your objective. So your objective is sort of moving in phases, right? You're like, okay, I need to get out of the bedroom. You make your way out, say by climbing out the window, and then you get swept up by the parent or the guardian, whoever it is, the babysitter, and they say you have chores to do. You fake doing the chores to get and convince them that you've done it by like dialogue trickery. That lets you into the backyard. Once you're in the backyard, your sibling is there and is going to prevent you from doing something. And to convince them, you need to go past the dog. The dog's unhappy, so you have to figure out a way to settle down the dog. You settle down the dog, and then you can get past it, and you can retrieve the item for the sibling. You bring that over to the sibling. They're happy. They will no longer dob on you or tattle. And so then you can climb the fence and get into the next part where you need to find a way to get past something. Maybe a chain link fence or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's some other thing you have to do there. Good frosty evening, Mike and chat. 8 degrees outside. Oh wow, for a Queensland night, that's pretty cold. You're in Queensland or you are from Queensland? Yeah. Oh, I missed a call 2 hours ago. No message was left. I don't recognize the number. Who's calling me at that time of night anyway? It's probably spam. I forget why I picked up my phone. Oh, to check the temperature outside. It's currently... What is the temperature currently? It says 13/8. I don't know what that means. Whatever. I don't care. It's about that here too, I think. Crowburn. It's good to see you, Crowburn. Hope you're doing good. If you're gonna go through people's gardens, maybe the last one could be Delphine's backyard. I don't think so, because I don't want them to be neighbors. I want, like, maybe they should be in neighborhood together. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. I'll think about it. Can you present the player with what looks like a really intricate sliding puzzle, only to discover it actually a super easy joke? That could be funny. That could be funny. Ton of client work? Oh, not bad then. That's good. Hopefully you're not too exhausted from it all. Tying the universe together a bit. Yeah, I like the idea of tying it together too. My plan is... I haven't said this to anybody. We want to encourage walkable neighborhoods. That's right. Yeah, so like the situation that is going to be in the okay, when you climb the back fence, we get a Full Throttle reference. You're in the junkyard, and there's more dogs to do. More dogs? Do we want more dogs? Maybe we don't have a dog in the backyard. Maybe we have a llama in the backyard. An angry llama. You have an angry llama in the backyard. It's not a dog. And then in the when you jump the back fence, you end up in a junkyard, similar to what you would expect from Full Throttle. So we can make some Full Throttle references there, and you have to like navigate your way through that to finally get out. Once you get out there, we play the outro sequence that we've played in all the other two games, where the mansion sort of comes into view on the horizon, and then that's it. That's when, you know, the characters, all three of them, have a line of dialogue to say about like what's going on, about their journey. And then when we start the next game, when we start the big game, it'll be that scene will be the opening scene. I'll redraw it so it's a bit nicer. That'll be like the opening scene for the credits, and we might even in animation summarize the first three games, so you get a recap of like what happened and them all on the hill. And as the mansion parallax pan happens, we'll bring the facility that they actually want to infiltrate, that will be on a distant horizon and come into view. And so the whole time we're like looking at the mansion, it's literally just because I felt like drawing it. Like at the time when I did Day of the Sandwich, I just felt like drawing a mansion. So that's just going to be there every time for these three games. But in the intro for the main game, that's actually just going to be like a foreground element in front of the actual target that they want to go to. Yeah, a spitting mad llama, exactly. So that's how we'll actually introduce the characters. The mansion's really nothing. It's just a set piece for the end of these games. And then we're not actually going to go to a mansion. We're going to go to the facility. And so the gameplay will start from, I guess, that top of the hill. And you'll move your way through like a neighborhood. You like maybe have to solve a few more puzzles as you work your way towards that. And so, you know, avoiding, like, there might be some, like, you know, like the avoid the guard sequence, like, oh, you have to watch their routine and like figure out when to click to go past them or whatever. It'll be that, except it'll be like one of their parents, you know, something like that. So it's like you don't want to get caught being out of the house when you're not supposed to be. when you're heading out on your adventure. And by this time, hopefully you'll have like learned, like there'll be like the cool adult that works in the video game arcade or something, and you'll be able to talk to them and like get some exposition. And like none of the adults believe you, even the cool guy. He's like, he doesn't really believe what's going on and tells you to stay safe and keep out of trouble, but like he's not your parent, so he's not going to stop you. That kind of stuff. So we can have like, we can start to build a story of like, hey, it's just some kids with wild imagination, to, oh, there's actually something going on and you're the only people who know how to stop it. That's what we're aiming to build. We're aiming to build something like that. So like, you know, much like the plot of Stranger Things and many other stories from the past, we're going to build towards that. But before we get there, we need to finish this little game. It's just a little game that we have to finish here. And this little game is wake up from a nap in bed and exit junkyard. That we have to connect these two dots. Climb out window. You know what? I'm gonna say climb out window. Get caught by babysitter. Babysitter's one word, right? Babysitter. And then it's like convince babysitter, one word, of course, that job is done. Or I guess chores done. Calm the llama. Get object to satisfy sibling. These are just all the things that I just mentioned, basically. I'm just trying to get the flow roughly outlined here. Kill babysitter, hide evidence, frame sibling, call police. That could work. Different game, but that could work. Maybe he could have an item that his parents threw in the junkyard and he wants to get it back. Who's he? And item junkyard back what? Do you mean the sibling? You mean instead of having the llama? Or whoever my character is. Oh, my character's objective is just to get out. Like they're the most prepared of all three of the characters. So like sandwich person wasn't really prepared. They just wanted to have a nice sandwich before they left on their adventure and everything went wrong. Lucas was just trying to get the metal detector and leave, but ended up getting trapped and had to do stuff. This character just wakes up ready to go. They're just like, I'm gonna go do this now. And it's their problem is just that they can't because there's so many people in their way, but they'll convince their way through. And all along the way, I want them to have conversations about, I want conspiracy conversations to be an option basically the entire time. Yeah. Maybe the ones with charisma. I mean, they might have charisma. I don't know. They're gonna be, I hope that this is an interesting character that people will enjoy listening to or like hearing what they have to say, kind of thing. Maybe there can be a dream sequence in the intro where the main character explains what they're about to do. Yeah. just like, yeah. Oh god, what is it? Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders. The start of that is a dream sequence that basically has like the outline for the plot of the game. Get object to satisfy a sibling. Satisfy sibling. Satiate sibling. Climb fence. Into junk yard. You'd have the Zach Dream sequence to confuse the player. Yeah, just start the game with that exact same sequence. So now we have like this idea of like, okay, we just have to connect these dots, right? So let's start connecting the dots. Okay. All right, we have our puzzle dependency graph. It's pretty simplified. But this is the starting point. This is how we always start out. Actually, I don't know if this is how we always start out, but this is how I'm starting out this time. Because this gives me an opportunity to just be like, okay, like much like with this one, I was like, oh, you know what? You need to make a coffee before you can leave. So like, you know, you got to do that. And then we just added all the coffee related stuff. This is such a simple puzzle dependency graph as well. And I think this was mostly just like, hey, I'm making the game about getting a bacon sandwich. So this we had no expectations. This was a zero expectations game design. Everything else since then has become this is hella complex. Why did I do this? This is so complicated. Look at all the things I required of myself for this gosh darn game. Look at this thing. Look at it. I didn't even do it all. Look at this. Broom, mop, shovel, rake, hockey stick, baguette, golf club, replica lightsaber, croquet mallet, and pogo stick. I did build it up over time. But most of this, like if you go back and look at the episodes where I was designing this puzzle dependency graph, a huge chunk of this was done on like day one. I think I did this on day one. I think I did this on day one. These two things alone are like pretty chunky pieces of work. I highlighted this in purple because I was like, this is definitely going to be confusing. And I think I highlighted some other stuff too because I was like, there's going to be some other stuff that's going to be like tricky to figure out. Yeah, pulling rope. This one I highlighted on the graph because I'm like, you know what? Like, what's the chance that somebody's going to figure this out? Like, I don't know. It's pretty tricky. So I did a lot of the game design for this one early on. I even put this note here: hamster is trapped in a tube, locked on both ends by collapsing shelf. Need to find a way to open the tube. Examining parts of the tube reveal a locked hatch, needing a key. That's a bit of an overburdened explanation there. This part here, I was like, oh well, there's gonna be a maze, and somehow you're gonna have to solve it. Hamster. Let's see if this is true. Let's see how true this design is. Now that we've finished making the game. Hamster will always run toward raisins when visible from any tile. Yeah, so I completely changed the design. I went from like, you have to place stuff in the maze to, oh, you just have to program the hamster. Programming the hamster was the right choice. This was too complicated to design a maze for, but it's an interesting concept that I still am interested in experimenting with. So like the hamster will always turn left when facing broccoli on an adjacent tile. Solve maze by placing items to lure hamster through the maze. So like the broccoli has like a repelling movement, and the raisin has an attractive movement, and like these kind of things, and you had to like figure out like where to put things in the maze to solve the maze. I ended up changing it to programming, which was like way smarter. And I also had the idea that like the hamster, you had to put the mealworm on the right object to make the hamster pick it up, which is like, come on, man. That's like a little bit too much work there. I like what we ended up with in the game design, actually. Hamster must retrieve data splicing cable that fell into the maze when the door shut. So that was there from day one, pretty much. Not enough carrots, so player must bring extra carrot pieces from Biolab via Shredder. I think I added this after I think I updated this part, but I didn't update anything else. So that's an added note. Everything else was like pretty much the original design. We don't talk about the P game. Why is Day of the Hamster called Day 3? Because of the tank game, Some Guy in a Hat. Don't forget Shmup. Well, that's like Shmup was game 0, if anything. It wasn't. I didn't even have this channel yet when I did Shmup. So, did it launch? Oh, that's the wrong executable. I'm like, why isn't it running? Okay, there you go. Yeah, we had this tank game that I was working on, which is like real-time Scorched Earth, basically. And you could change your weapon to this like acid attack. This is why it's called P-Tanks. Everybody calls it P-Tanks because the acid attack. So many drives. A lot of them are external, but yeah, I have a ton of drives. This is like an earlier build. I redid the physics, with more complicated physics. And it works a little differently. So you'll see like some parts of the particles are flying through the air now, whereas before it was all pure cellular automata. And they would always like follow a specific pattern, whereas now like you'll see things like flinging off as they gain momentum and stuff like that. So the particle simulation is like a lot more detailed. And in fact, even when things explode, they'll fling pieces of dirt away from them when they explode, which is kind of hard to tell, but you can sort of see it if I click in just the right spot. You'll see some things fly off instead of just fall. And yeah, the fluid simulation is a little bit balked in this build. I would like to go back and fix this because it would be fun to have this working properly again. Even if the game isn't complete, because the fluid sim is pretty cool actually in this build. When it works properly, it works really nicely. It's really interesting to look at. Anyway, that was game 3 or whatever. That was game 2, I guess. Yeah, that was game 2. We'll probably go back. So the next, I think after this series is complete, and we like assuming that I finish the Kickstarter and we actually launch the game. I think the next game I'm going to work on is probably going to be a cinematic platformer, and I'll probably do a short one as like a concept, and then a long one potentially using the technology and concepts from the first one. I'm also thinking about doing like a first-person open-world exploration game set in outback Australia in early settler days, with horror themes. I think that would be really cool. Nice, it's been a while since you had a really good cinematic platformer. Yeah, it's been a while, but I did play one recently. So there's a couple I could point you to, Distron, if you're interested. This one here, Full Void, was pretty cool. This one wasn't bad. This one was pretty cool. Full Void. I like pixely platformers with nice animations. This is one of those. Just got an ad for one that looked really good. Can't find it now. Oh no, hopefully not on my channel. I don't there should be no ads on this channel because it's unaffiliated. Where everything is trying to kill you, just like the real Outback Australian experience. Somewhat, but it's more like I want to focus on the legends that I heard growing up, and some of the other like ghost story type stuff that Western people brought to Australia as well, and sort of like having a little bit of everything going on. I don't really want to like retell stories. I just want to use them as a jumping off point for like interesting stuff. Drop bears might be a thing. Yeah, maybe. Drop bears could be a thing. But like more focusing on like the ghost stories and like, you know, the like tales of like, you know, I don't want to spoil too much, but like, you know, there's like, we have the Bunyip, we have like a few other cool things in like you know, the First Peoples sort of tales and their Dreamtime stories and stuff like that. There's a lot to draw from that, but there's also a lot of like the Western influence of like ghost, like your traditional like Victorian ghost story type stuff as well. The Swagman, yeah, the Jolly Swagman. There's like a bunch of stuff you could do. Bogans can be the common enemies. Yeah, I'm in Australia. Lilt. Is it Lilt? L-I-L-T? Lilt? Is that how I'm supposed to say it? Lilt? Don't forget dingoes will eat your bait. Yeah, like dingoes is like just a straight up thing, but like if you just demonize them a little bit more, you know, like make them like not dingoes, they're possessed devil dogs, right? Like that's just cooler as like a horror theme. And like the idea of that would be moving around, like sort of like the, you know how you hear like the Van Helsing stories of like, oh yeah, like especially the adaptations of Van Helsing. He's like, oh, he's just gonna like come in and like stop the supernatural threat and move on to the next job. That's what this would be, except it's like an open world. So think about like, take like the idea of like a Red Dead Redemption, set it in Outback Australia, but everything is, you're like a ghost hunter. So you've got like, you're not just like, someone might just come up to you and say, oh, there's a bunyip in my backyard, come and help me. They'd be like, you'd have to do research and investigate and like identify what the thing is that you need to deal with and then figure out how to deal with it. And there'd be like surface level stuff like, oh yeah, because you are aware of and working against the supernatural world, things might come against you. So like, you know, that's why you have like your lower level like threats that just come along while you're traveling down the road. And like, I wouldn't even mind bringing in some of that like North American like voodoo lore and stuff like that as well, like bringing some of that to Australian shores in this, just because it's like an interesting thing to mix in. Australian Witcher, yeah, something like that. I really want to focus on like the way Phasmophobia works with ghost stories is like, oh, you have to like know this is like, you have to deduce based on the behavior of the ghost and like the things that ping on your devices. That's how you figure out what it is. But like taking the technology side of that away and making it more arcane, so then you go into a town, like, you know there's something going wrong, but you don't know what, and so you're using your Ouija board, you're using your like voodoo like maps or whatever, like whatever we come up with, that kind of stuff is the stuff that drives you towards finding and locating the thing, but also knowing what the thing is and then researching how to counter that. And instead of just having like a journal in your back pocket that has everything in it, you kind of have to like find stuff and like hear stories and tales from the locals and stuff like that to learn it. Ghostbuster style PKE, well, because it's set in like pre-electronic device era, then it wouldn't be that, but like maybe instead of a PKE meter, you'd have like a compass that's got some like extra bits on it, and when it spins it means you're pointing in the right direction to find the ghost. Those kind of stuff. Stick of strange stuff you hold in your hand from the commercial with a cool hand holder, and you can put it on in the cup. You mean the Chico roll holder? Shrunken head on a string, a la Hellboy or Monkey Island. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Australian Schottenjäger. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Although it's like, it's more immersive. It's an immersive sim of that. Yeah. And it's like a little bit more open world is like in my mind. I'd like it to be that. In reality, it might end up being narrowed down to like following a specific path with maybe a little bit of branching and side questing. But like, yeah, I want it to be like, if you imagine the Supernatural TV series, I don't know if you've seen that. A lot of people have, I'm sure. But the Supernatural TV series has these guys that are just traveling across the USA, like solving cases, and like there's like a bigger plot that's going along in the background. Eventually that becomes like the main story, and then they sort of fall back into the subplot stuff and do other things for a while, and then, you know, so something like that idea, but it's like self-driven, like as you move through the outback. And so you might run into other people who are also hunting the supernatural. But yeah, I don't know. This is an actual project you're going to try, or just speculation like my own for an RPG? At the moment, it's idle speculation, but that is something I want to try and do. So if I had budget, that's what I would work on. If I could get budget, that's what I'd probably work on. But I can't even really build a prototype for it, I don't think, with time I have available right now. But like, if this series goes into a project that nets enough of money to build a runway to try and build that, that's something I might consider doing. Yeah, it's always good to dream. The thing is, like, coming up with an idea is not hard, but that's one that's like recurred to me a lot over the years, so it's something I would like to try out someday. Could be the floor chicken of your platformer. Wait, what? What could be the floor chicken? But yeah, I want to work on a cinematic platformer. That's something I've been hankering to work on for a while now. I started doing research by playing a bunch of cinematic platformers a while back. Oh, I said I was going to show you two. This is Full Void. This one's fairly recent. The other one is The Way, and it came out in like 2014, I think. And it's really cheap right now. 2016, sorry. This is another pretty cool cinematic platformer. It has one section that's terrible. That I really thought it ruined the game. Like, I really didn't like it. And it's a maze section where you have to program a robot to path through a maze. But it's done in such a bad way, and it's too long. Which is... that was part of the inspiration for me doing the maze with the hamster. To make that sort of style of puzzle more interesting. My own headcanon project is basically RPG, where you're thrown into the whole Chosen One storyline, and somewhere along the way you find out that you're not special at all, just one of many idiots who got roped into this mess. But you were lucky enough to survive this far. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. And like, yeah, and then you kind of make yourself the Chosen One. You're like, well, now that I know I'm on my own, I'm going to try and survive, and like actually think we have a chance to overthrow this bad person or something like that. That's a cool idea. I like it. Have you played, is it Luna, the one inspired by Flashback? Yeah, Lunark. I've played that. That's another one I could recommend, actually. I had fun playing that. This one's like super pixelated, but it's very, very Flashback inspired. Anyway, I've pontificated too much today. So this is our puzzle dependency graph. Obviously, there's no puzzles here. It's just like moving through from one point to the next. But we will expand on this the next time we do a dev stream, I think. Hey there, Jiggy. Good to see you. Welcome. The game is out. Striking while the iron's hot. Yeah, we're just moving right on to the next project. We did a patch for today. We did a patch today as well for the main game, the last game, the current game, whatever you call it, the game we just launched. And we're waiting for this to get approved so that people can start using it in the tags on the categories. I mean, on Twitch. This is still not approved yet, I don't think, or at least it wasn't. when I last refreshed. I don't see like if it says pending or something anywhere, but this is just the change. I don't know what happens when the change gets approved. Like, do they tell me, or? Yeah, I guess it's still waiting for validation. First screenshot gave me Commander Keen 4 vibes without my glasses. Oh, of Lunark. Yeah, I think Lunark's a really pretty looking game. Have you seen Webbed? I have not seen Webbed, I don't believe. In Dark Souls, you're always an idiot who got roped into it. There's no build up to how special you are. Right. Speaking of puns, will there be an elephant so Sierra can address the elephant in the room? It's possible we could do that. It's possible we could like have the elephant in the room be in the bedroom as a stuffed animal, and Sierra could talk to the elephant in the room to address the elephant in the room. That could be a pun we pull off. That makes sense. So in my mind, they'd have to be a lot. There'd have to be a lot of foreshadowing, like how you run into other characters, both living and dead. That sort of hint at the fact that you're not the only one. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Probably that you have that you think you're this big hero, but turns out you were working for the bad guy all along. That's a pretty good plot. It's a pretty good plot. Basically, just subvert the whole chosen hero storyline. It feels like something that's probably been done in like novel form, if not in video games. Like, it feels like a plot that you could see. I could see that being like the plot of a movie or a video game. I mean, story. What's the premise of game 3? Well, let me walk you through it. So this is the premise. Is it's about interacting with characters to I don't know. A secret entrance was just a thought, but yeah, basically focusing on character interactions for this one. So the first one was just like getting started. The second one was focusing on like more, you know, game mechanic focused stuff, and more puzzle density. This one's going to be focusing on like storytelling and character interactions. Have you seen the 20 games challenge? I don't think so. Is Webbed a cinematic platformer? I don't know. I actually don't know Webbed. I'll Google that real quick. This looks cool already. I like the idea. I don't know if this is cinematic or not. It's hard for me to judge based on this quick video. It may be considered cinematic platformer, although it might be a little tricky. I think most people would say a cinematic platformer has to have like rotoscoped characters or something like that. That seems to be a big part of it. This is maybe a little bit more action platformery. I don't know. Or puzzle platformer, maybe. This is probably more of a puzzle platformer. Does look cool though. Maybe it would qualify. I don't know. Good question. Does look cool. Going back over here. You've been UV unwrapping all night. Oh, awesome, Disron. Is it a white elephant? Probably not, Stickster. I don't know. I mean, a stuffed toy animal, maybe. Probably just a gray or blue or red. I don't know. Maybe it could be white. Most likely, don't think it's particularly original, but it's just my idle reaction to yet another Bethesda game where you're oh so special. Right, yeah. I mean, you know, I like Bethesda games for what they are. I'm a bit of a fan of the series, honestly. First time you've heard about the genre of cinematic platformer? Yeah. Doing the 20 games challenge to teach me game dev concepts, basically start from Pong and work the way up. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. So anyways, back to this thing over here as well. I like the idea of that, Lilt. That's a cool idea. You play as a death-obsessed character named Sierra. Sierra's a codename, self-chosen. Sierra's really into conspiracy theories and wants to gain access to a secret base close to home. Local energy science outpost or something like that. I've written, this is like a reference for Australians. I don't think anybody else is gonna knows what Ship to Shore is. Where something is going on. So like there's some reason that they want to like go there, obviously conspiracy related, and that's going to lead to the plot of the main game actually. First, Sierra has to trick their babysitter or someone like that to get out of the house. I've kind of like developed this concept a bit further already. But yeah, it's definitely going to focus on like character interactions. So the first part of like just getting out of your bedroom is probably going to be more like traditional puzzle game stuff. But as soon as you get out, you're going to get like dragged back into the house because you haven't done your chores and you have to like do the dialogue solutions to puzzles. A fair bit. There'll still be traditional puzzle elements, but like the dialogue focus is there. Yeah, exactly. Focusing on those dialogue bits, because like it's going to be something I'm going to want to do, and I just want to like. I'm taking these mini games as opportunities to learn and continue to develop. So yeah. Because I've never really made point and click adventures before. These are the first ones I've made. So yeah. Basically, the gameplay will have typical object, item inventory, puzzles. I don't know, I'm just reading stuff on the screen at this point. Yeah, here's a bit better of a summary of that stuff that I just said, basically. Karma dog. I think we decided to change this to a llama for fun. And then once you get past them, you go over fence to junkyard. Deal with squad dogs. So you have to figure out a way to deal with that. And that after you've done that, that will be the end of the. Once you escape the junkyard, you're finally out, and you can go on the adventure, and you'll meet up with the other two adventurers. Day of the Hamster finished, so I can finally join in here again. Awesome, ABC, awesome. Well done, Mike. Thank you, ABC. What did you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope I didn't annoy you too much. Bethesda games are okay, I guess. I just kind of done with the whole trope where the entire world is just waiting for you. Yeah. They always feel so empty if you don't want to be the chosen one and just want to like exist in the world. They do feel quite empty. The guy with a destiny with a capital D to come along and do everything that no one else can be bothered to do. Yeah, exactly. Kind of want to feel empowered as a result of my own actions, not because of external factors. Yeah, I like the idea of that too. I like the idea that there's like an open world RPG where the world just happens around you regardless of what you do, and like factions are built and broken, and like bad things happen and good things happen, and whether or not you're there, and like you go into there and like you just kind of have to build yourself above that or like take part in it, those kind of things. I like that stuff. I liked it. I was annoyed by the obvious drill and screwdriver didn't work on the hamster. You mean the hamster tunnel, I assume, not the hamster itself. Or the drill on the microwave. Yeah, I thought about putting in a specific message about the drill on the microwave, actually, but I kind of forgot to do it. But yeah, there was some annoying stuff like that, and that's like always going to be a thing. I actually did a patch today with just like fixing some of those annoyances, so at least there's a message about some of that stuff. Not those ones actually, but more about like trying to get things using the handles and stuff like that. 40 minutes totally blind. That's pretty fast. That's pretty fast, AVC. Nice work. A lot of the streams I've watched have been over an hour. Got stuck for a few minutes before I realized what a dummy I was a dummy, and you can use the detector on Lucas. I wasn't looking for a hotspot. Oh, you were... Wait, I wasn't looking for a hotspot to use it in the storeroom. Oh, okay, yeah. And lol on the donkey cart. Yeah, that part was I had to do it because I was like, I've been before, as I was finishing the game. I think I had some other message when you got bonked by that part of the game. I was like, oh, hang on, I know what to put here. And so I changed that dialogue. You think you were about 45 minutes as well? Oh, awesome. I think people playing offline who are used to playing adventure games might be a little faster then. Which makes sense, because like I know I get distracted when I'm streaming. So 45 minutes is really good, though. I was thinking the game was going to be 20 minutes, and I was worried. I was like, please be over 20 minutes. I was so worried it was going to be less than 20 minutes of gameplay. And I thought, like, if I put this much effort into it and it's still less than 20 minutes of gameplay, then I'm going to be sad. But it seems like 40 minutes to, like, I've seen up to 3.5 hours, so that's good. That's good. The Adventure Foo helped me steal everything and figure out why I wanted it later. Yeah. It also depends on how well you can figure out the programming puzzle. That's true. The programming puzzle could be a bit of a blocker for people who aren't familiar. 15 minutes of that was trying to wrestle with the metal detector and the wall. Yikes. I tried to make that smooth as well. I did try and improve, like, make that a smooth process. But yeah. Programming puzzle, you say? Yeah, there's a little programming puzzle in the game. Hamster Delicious Compliance. Delicious Compliance? I love the name that you've given that, but I don't know if you're referencing something else as well. But yeah, I'm glad you liked that. I was basically just trying to make a good version of the you have to solve a maze by programming something puzzle, which every other game, not every other game, but I'm thinking of The Way. The Way has a programming puzzle that's like, yeah, it's so tedious. I hated it. And there's another one. The Dig has one that's like, it's not hard to do, but like the trial and error of it is a bit frustrating, and it doesn't have a clear guideline as where the drone that you're guiding is going to go. So you kind of just have to guess a little bit too much. So I wanted something that felt a little bit more directed. I asked for extra jalapenos, so they gave me 2 kilos, one. Delicious Compliance subreddit. Oh, there's a Delicious Compliance subreddit. Okay, all right. I wasn't familiar, but I like the sound of it. Were there any Easter eggs in the game for finding other metals, like setting the metal detector to gold? No, I thought about doing that, and I didn't, because I didn't want to get it too confusing. I thought about doing it for the detecting stuff in the wall, but the detecting stuff in the wall stuff, I didn't put as many Easter eggs in there as I wanted to. I'm curious, ABC, did you notice the Easter eggs in the wall? In fairness, you have to do a lot in the Dig as you are on an alien planet. Yeah, that's true. I love the Dig. It's one of my favorite games. It's just like the programming puzzle wasn't that fun in it, I felt. It's sort of like, it feels almost tedious. Even though it's not actually that bad, it's actually not that bad, but yeah. There was a cross or something, I think. Yeah, there's that. Did you notice there was the SCU Multimux? Did you try setting that frequency? I did see the various sensor names like there. Yeah, that's good. That was fun to put together. I needed help with that list because I was like, I've run out of ideas. I've run out of things that I can name. But that was a fun list to put together. It took me an embarrassing amount of replays to realize you could quick travel in the dig without using the trans. Yeah. What do you mean without using the trams? I know you can like double click to just transition screens quickly. Oh, the light bridges. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you build the light bridges out. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to do more of that stuff with the puzzles. Like there's only two wall frequencies you can tune to see stuff. The rest of them don't have it, and I meant to put it in, but I just sort of like I got fatigued on like working on that stuff, so I stopped. Yeah, I had intended to put some more red herrings in the wall section as well with a electrocution animation, but I didn't end up doing that. Yeah, the animation for the donkey cart thing was hilarious. I loved doing that. That was a good time. I felt like I could have spent more time on that animation and just like kept working on it, but yeah. And AGS still has this problem where when you're facing right and you do the grab animation, the character like shifts back by like a couple of pixels and then shifts back forward again. I've never figured out why it does that or how to stop it from doing that. That really frustrated me. It's still frustrating me. Because it happened with Delphine, and I thought it was fixed with Lucas, and then it started happening again when I'm not sure if it started happening again or I just noticed it was happening, but yeah, that was frustrating. Anyway, I'll have to try and figure that out sometime. But yeah, working on the ideas for Game 4 at the moment. And I think this one's gonna be interesting because this one's the next game is gonna focus a lot more on character interactions. Is basically what I want to do. I want to like do mouth animations for talking and like gestures for characters. Like whilst they're talking, they play like an animation as well. Have the puzzles be solved through interacting with characters and talking a little bit more. That kind of stuff. I want to focus on those sort of areas a bit, which I think will be interesting. But yeah, we're basically done for the night now. I think we're done. I don't think I need to. I don't want to push too hard into the next thing. Like I don't want to hit the. We could hit the ground running and start drawing backgrounds and like designing puzzles, but we got to get this. I think we got to move a little slowly because otherwise I'm going to get fatigued. Plus I have a sick family and I think I'm coming down with something too, so it's probably best for me to take it slow. What about some Catacombs 3D? Just jump in and play some Catacombs 3D right now. It is a good game. I do like it. No, I think I haven't even eaten dinner tonight, and I started the stream at like, I forget what time. I forget what time we started. It was 5 hours ago and it's 9:35. Sorry, I'm just checking my phone. I just realized I have a whole bunch of notifications. It's all good. I just got a little bit. Checklist Simulator 2024. That's right, Master Business. Good to see you. Yeah, we've checked the lists. Look at this. Look how long this document is. It's so long and it's full of checklists. If you like checklists, this is the stream for you. There is a ton of work went into this game. What's this part? Maze discussion notes. The maze was such a freaking problem. I'll tell you what, the maze was like Getting the maze to work was really painful. That was a painful process. The original design for the maze was completely different to what we ended up with. And we were just looking at that just before. We were looking at it in the puzzle dependency graph. And like the idea that I'd had and what we ended up landing on, what we landed on was something I was actually trying to avoid with the design that I had done up until that point. And then coming back to it now, I realized like what I was trying to avoid wasn't what I should have been avoiding. There was other stuff that I avoided whilst doing the thing that I thought I needed to avoid. If that makes sense, then you're a very clever person, because I don't know if I made any sense just then. But yeah. Who knew video games were complicated to make? Yeah. Refusing to get rest simulator starring Fractal My Mic. Yeah, I mean, I need to eat food, and I will get some rest. We're going to end the stream in a minute, but I'm happy to hang out and chat a little bit too. Didn't you have a whole thing that people can make mods with? Technically not yet, but I could implement it so that we load the maze data from a file and then you could edit it. I could create like a web interface or something and put it on my itch. I could make an itch page for it where you can run like an editor and download a file and put it in the game. In theory, I could do that because like the map is actually text. It's just text data that's in a string. Because I made it so that I could load up Tiled, the editor, and like create a map and then import it into the game. So in theory, yeah, we could actually make an editor, but it's not supported right now. It's just a static string, a const or whatever you want to call it. Well, it's not a const, but it's a static string. We make games not because it's easy, but because we thought they would be easy. Yeah. I'm having so much fun making these games, though. Yeah. It's been an awesome stream and productive. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Digestion simulator. Yeah, I got to do some digestion after I eat. I'm not sure what I'm going to eat tonight, because I kind of just came in here and started doing this. I don't even know what the family ate. I hope they ate. Because it's well past bedtime, so the kids will be in bed. Anyway. I wasn't planning on raiding anybody tonight either. I just thought we'd hang out and go through the stats, which we did. The stats were interesting, actually. It was interesting to see. Day of the Sandwich had better stats on like views and impressions, click-through rate. They were all better, but downloads and sales on this game were better than Day of the Sandwich. So I don't know. I guess this game's just better, though. This game is a lot better than Day of the Sandwich. I think, like, at first I was like, oh, it's like 50 times better than Day of the Sandwich. I think it's like 80 or 100 times better than Day of the Sandwich, though. It's like such a, like, in terms of puzzles and, like, you know, ideas and implementation, there's just so much more to this game. It's way, way better. I'm really happy about it. You hope they had pizza? I don't think they had pizza. I doubt that they had pizza. They probably had some kind of, like, pasta bake is my guess. You're cooking chili con pollo for lunch. Ooh, delicious. That sounds delicious. I like a good chili. Yeah, I hope you had a good one. Don't say better. It has some bit improvements. Don't say better. Say it has some bit improvements. You improved quite a lot. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at the difference between like 2 weeks of solid work basically to launch the first game. Just all like, and that was like, I got to learn how to use AGS and fight it to make things happen. And like learn the process of doing the graphics. Like I wasn't really sure how I was going to do that yet. And so I was like, there was a lot of learning and experimentation for Day of the Sandwich. And this game, I already had established a lot of that stuff. And I could use that as a springboard. And I'd already like solved a lot of problems with AGS. So I had new problems to solve. And I spent longer time doing it, and I spread it out so I wasn't just like fully focused. I had like gaps between doing work on it. So, which is both a pro and a con actually. But yeah, this game was much bigger, much more to it, and I'm very happy about it. Each of them a small step leading to the big epic adventure. Yeah. This final third game should close the loop on all the stuff that I need to learn about doing properly for the final adventure game. There's still a few things. I'm gonna see if I can like catch Francisco Gonzalez streams, or maybe reach out to them for a little bit of education, because they make from what I understand, the way that they do their characters in the games they make is like segments. So they have like torso and legs are actually like separate elements, and maybe even the head as well. So like they can as they move them around, they can like animate different bits. So I assume they have like a little bit more fine control over like the character animations and stuff, which is something I'm interested in doing as well. But I have no idea if that's true. It's just something I heard. I haven't talked to them about it yet. But yeah, anyway, I think that's it from me tonight. I'm very, very pleased with how we've gone. People used to call them Flash puppets back when Flash was a thing. Oh yeah, I never heard the term Flash puppet, but makes sense that they would call it something like that. I made a platforming game that had that concept of separating the torso and the legs and stuff, but my code initially was weird, and there was like a lag between the top of the torso and the legs, so the legs would like separate from the body, which was hilarious to see. I know they're still used in indie games today, but I'm not sure what they're called. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of ways to do it. So I'm just curious how they do it in AGS, like how much of the internal AGS animation systems they rely on, and like character positions and stuff like that. I almost feel like I want to take over from AGS sometimes, like for that kind of stuff, because it does things that I don't want it to do. So like the hamster system, the hamster like when you go into the hamster mode, I use none of AGS's systems. I wrote my own animation system to handle all of that. Slept through everything, but hope stats are good. Yeah, stats are great. We had some good stats, DC. It's good to see. I hope Pod's doing well as well. But yeah, no, the stats are surprisingly doing pretty well. The views, like I was just saying, the views and the total impressions are actually lower than Day of the Sandwich, but sales, downloads, all of those important numbers, they're actually higher. So it's pretty good. I think AGS is mostly frame AGS. A lot of the programs that you can make those rigged 2D animations will let you render them out. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah. There's definitely a lot of ways I can deal with the animations. Frame animations. Yes, it is. It is frame animations. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, Francisco Gonzalez does characters in AGS that are separate parts. So I was wondering how they approach that, basically. The game definitely made me feel smart for doing random things, and love the references. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, DC. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was really fun watching your playthrough too. I had a good time. I was very entertained. Yeah, I was really pleased to see the playthroughs I've seen so far. I'm looking forward to seeing some more. Hopefully some more people do stream it. And hopefully I finally catch some YouTube videos and stuff like that too, because I think it took about like 2 or 3 days before they started flowing in on the last game, but I don't know if this game has hit the critical mass that it is required to get the attention to have playthroughs done. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing it though, if it happens. Anyway, one more refresh of this IGDB page. Hopefully that has the category now, but I don't think anything changed. Yeah, nothing's changed yet. We're still waiting on approval. All right, yeah, that's it from me. I think I'm gonna go eat food and hang out with my wife. She's probably asleep actually because she's been sick. So yeah, he might have programmed his own system then. Yeah, that's why I want to talk to him about. He obviously must have done that, but I just was wondering what approach he took to it, like how much he left in the hands of AGS's internal animation system and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. I'm having fun. I'm going to keep working on the next game. So we probably won't be streaming tomorrow night. I'm probably going to try and do a GOG stream. I need to prepare for it in the morning, though, and if I don't get that done in time, I'll just have to cancel it again, and I'll prepare something for next week, so I'm definitely locked in for that. Because I don't have a good excuse not to do those at the moment. I need to get back into the habit of going on there again. But yeah, dev streams will continue probably Friday afternoon. I might try and get one in. I'm actually thinking of trying out sponsored stream on my main channel on Friday afternoon. I'm going to see if I can find something that's worth doing. And if I do, I'll try and interweave it with some other cool content, so we don't just have a boring, like, you know, mobile game stream or something like that. I'll try and do something fun, and I'll interweave it with some other content too, so that should be a bit better. Don't know if I'm definitely going to do that, but something I'm considering to try and make up for the shortfall that I'm suffering from at the moment. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a good sleep, or have a good day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. We should be back for dev streams on Friday, hopefully. If not, it'll definitely be on Saturday. Thank you. Hey, Game Dev Jeff, thank you very much. Happy time zone. Happy time zone. Thanks for the stream. It's been amazing progress so far. Looking forward to how the dev work on the 3rd mini adventure goes. I'm looking forward to it too, Tony. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next time. Look after yourselves. Play some cool games. Make some cool games. See you then. I'll see you on hopefully sooner than later, but we'll see. We'll see. Bye-bye.
I mean, damn. Oh boy, we're having fun now. Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh! Yay! Woohoo! I mean, damn! No! No! No!
It would have been pretty cool to drug the cat.
No! No! No!
I am a Texas Instruments computer.
Wow! Look at the size of those knockers.